Question is, what's your thoughts on AMC ever short squeezing? Ooh, this is a long question, long answer. Oh, short question, long answer. My God. Well, one simple answer, TLDR, all right, like too long to read, didn't read, is going to be they'll never squeeze, right? But let's do some homework here. Let's do some like real thought provoking stuff here when it comes to private equity. Okay, so AMC movie theaters, the one that everybody loves, 300 movie theaters, um, around for like 100 years. That would have been in 2021 or 2001. I apologize. And then Apollo came in, bought them out. Magic Johnson piggybacked in on the deal. His movie theaters got thrown in there. You had Carmike movie theaters get thrown in. You had Odin movie theaters, and you also have like the Tisch family, their movie theaters, the Lowe's Corporation, Lowe's theaters. So all these theaters get combined together. Now they have 1,100 theaters, but they just leverage themselves, right? So they went public. When they go public, they put their man in place, Adam Aaron. He's a Apollo executive, there to string out the company on debt. It's the playbook, simple playbook. Don't let them confuse it with press conferences and or with tweets and interviews. And we're going to have a great company. They don't give two dams about that. They just want to leverage them, buy terrible things, make bad moves, and then exit, right? So the way they did it was in 2019, they got rid of their CFO. They got a new one. And they come in and then they go ahead and say they're going to pay all the executives, all the insiders with shares instead of cash. So in theory, you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. They're taking a pay cut. They're not, though. It's because now's the time to spike it, right? So COVID hits, boom, goes through. The company ends up getting huge money. I'm talking about private equity, huge money. Silver Lake, Mudrick Capital, they leveraged their whole company via bondholders. So now you have these covenants on the company, and they can't do what you say they want them to do. But sure enough, these convertible notes from Silver Lake, $1 billion, right? Like they hit that plateau because of GameStop taking off. GameStop took off. And then these guys are the counter, right? It's the hedge. So every private equity firm out there, like these have all these hedges to the market. And so they deploy. They deploy this company. And if you don't think it's like a deploy on the equity itself, think about this. Adam Aaron didn't tweet for like 2 years before August or April of 2021. And he stopped tweeting now. He doesn't tweet nearly like he did in 2021, 22, and 23. But that's because they were playing the people. They took their float from 100 million shares, 50 million shares, 100 million shares, all the way up to 500 million shares, right? Then they deployed APE, Additional Preferred Equity Unit. They invented it to suck out the liquidity and equity out of the stock. And they did it tenfold. They increased the float all the way to 1.5 billion shares at that point. Did a conversion, did a reverse stock split. Boom, 10 to 1, got you down to 150 million shares. You've already been depleted. Took out every dollar out of the company and to service all that debt that they brought on purpose. And now, right now, 2025, going into 2026, they have to do another offering, they have a liquidity crisis right now, so they have to do something for more cash. Out of all the money they've raised over the last 5 years, they've burned it all off, essentially. And the share count is now back up to 500 million. After a 10 to 1 reverse stock split, the equivalent is 5 billion shares from when you originally bought in. So you seen a $2 stock, it doesn't even matter what it could be. You would have to divide that by 10. That's the true value. It's literally 28 cents, 30 cents a share. And then compared to the previous price points, and then you'd have to see it run. And they've done everything they could to take from the shareholders, and all the insiders sold every single share like they owe nothing. So I don't know how people can still even ask the question, like, what are your thoughts if they can never squeeze? How could you squeeze a 500 million share float that nobody owns and no one's ever going to have to close because it's a forever short? That thing is terrible. Their market cap went from $10 billion to $1 billion overnight, and they don't make a single profit. So you can have the best weekends ever, all the movies in the world, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Avatar 2, Fast and Furious 10, A Quiet Place 2. I mean, I've heard all the excuses of like why they're going to make money, and then they can't make money because they owe so much money in debt. Like it's really bad. But the other side of that is a company like Cinemark. Cinemark has debt. Cinemark's not doing amazing, but they make a profit, and they managed to do it with 500 theaters, and they run a good companies because they didn't give themselves bonuses and loans and deplete the shareholders. They did not liquidate the shareholders like AMC did. And if you guys think I'm wrong, just go look at Adam Aaron, ask him where's he at. That guy doesn't do interviews anymore. That guy doesn't tweet anymore. He doesn't do nearly all the pub that he was doing before because they were trying to sell you on something on purpose. Now, I mean, it's the game's up. They're afraid for their safety at this point. So, AMC, terrible investment and terrible company, and I'll never own it again. Did I own it at one time? Yeah, I think max I had like 8 shares, nothing crazy, and my cost average was in the $8, 8.98, 8.99, and I sold it on the first run of June of 2021, and I think I sold out at $47, and I was happy to do it, and took my profits and never looked back because I knew he was a snake. I knew he wasn't worth investing with, and now I'm with Ryan Cohen. I'm with GameStop, and that's the best investment. Like it's not even close. It's pretty remarkable if you ask me. But keep asking, keep looking. I'll see you around. Peace.